Alright, YouTubers, this is an old Mercedes. I'm working on the alternator, trying to change it. The alternators on these cars, they're kind of tucked in, as you see. The bracket has an adjuster right here. There's a bolt that goes through it. It's a big long bolt with a threaded rod piece on it. This video is not about how to change the alternator. This video is how to get the bolt that the alternator pivots on out when it's stuck in the aluminum. So what I've had to do, because the bolt is threaded into the aluminum housing on these engines. The housing is just regular cast aluminum, and of course it corrodes over time, and the bolt fuses inside the alternator. So you can turn it all you want with the wrench or the ratchet, and it just sits in there and spins, and it's a real wrestling match to turn it. This is a piece of 10 mil by 1.5. Now this procedure will work on a lot of cars. It'll work on some of the Jap cars, the Hondas. I've run into that before, where the bolt is stuck and it's on the back of the motor. Nothing you can do to get in there. But if you can get at the face where the threaded part is, or the nut, which sometimes you can, if you can get at that, you can make up a piece of threaded rod similar to this. This threaded rod, to get that bolt out, sorry if it's not very clear, but this is the bolt. I've been turning on it, I've pried on it, tried to push it. There's not a lot of room to try to push on anything. There's air conditioning lines, a whole bunch of things running around here, so you can't beat on it. This is the socket. I was turning it with the socket on a ratchet. It just sits in there and spins. This is the part that it's fused in, or sorry, that it's threaded into. This part pivots. This is where it's fused. I can't push it out of that little spot for nothing. So I'm going to show you how this little threaded rod piece works, and hopefully the camera catches it. So this little threaded rod threads into the front side of this. You have to make the rod long enough that it's going to push it out of the alternator housing, but short enough that you can get it in between the rad and the casting where it has to thread into. If you don't do it, you won't be able to get it in there. You don't want to cross thread this. You don't want to damage these threads. So once this is threaded in here a little ways, I'll put the ratchet wrench on it, and you'll be able to see. So I've been able to wiggle this back a little bit. I can tell that the bolt, sorry, this homemade bolt threaded rod piece is now bottomed out on the bottom of this bolt up here. So once I get the ratchet wrench, so now you'll be able to see of course I dropped the wrench for the camera. I'm just using a stubby wrench on this. Doesn't take a lot of pressure to push it out when you're using threads. The threads produce a lot of force, just like a trailer jack or anything else would. So now we're zooming right along. You can see, if you watch, that bolt is traveling out. Sorry if it's unclear. My eyes can't tell if it's clear or not this close. They're fun of getting older. Anyways, so this is pushing that out nicely. You can see the dry portion of the bolt where the penetrating oil never got to it, and the corrosion that wipes off nicely. So this bolt's going to slide right out the back, and once it's out and this threaded rod indexes this far, it will fall out in my hand. Give it a whirl. It's a couple dollar part. If you have a full length threaded bolt the right size, that'll work. If not, threaded rod's your friend, and it can save you a lot of time. It's a do-it-yourself, get you through this repair at 10 o'clock at night. Have a good day, guys.